Okay. Ooh, where's the stuff? Hello, listen, y'all. Y'all know what? Y'all, guess what, y'all? Hey, daughter, how you doing? My daughter the only one supporting me tonight because she love her mama. If you can't count on nobody else, you can count on your child. You can count on your child, okay? Hey, Vons, listen, y'all. Vons said, I am so glad you're alive. You know what? I'm off tomorrow, y'all. Y'all know I'm up so late. I'm off tomorrow. I'm going out of town in a couple hours. I'm celebrating. It's a homie birthday today. We've been partying and we going out of town. We finna party all weekend. I ain't coming back till Sunday. So I said, I'm finna go live. I just got home. I've been doing my thug thizzle. Let me, Vaughn, you laughing. My daughter the only one love. She the only one in here. So glad she don't want to get on here and talk about me and call me bitches and things. You know what I'm saying? Like Dr. Umar daughter did him. I'm just saying. Black Queens forever. Snow. Oh, you supposed to say that. Okay, yeah. So Dr. Umar debated. He was on this video is like a year or so old. But ever since I started following him and, wanting to get to know what he has been about and the things he's talked about, I'm telling y'all, all of his videos are popping down my timeline. And I have thoroughly enjoyed watching them. I'm going to tell y'all something. Dr. Umar, the Pan-African Prince. I totally agree and support. I mean, it's the way I just love the things that he talk about and how he expresses his views and opinions on certain things. Okay. So, Vaughn said it. My daughter said it. Okay. So we are going to listen to him debate. It was him. So listen. The lady in the middle up there, like in the middle, is the host with the glasses on. Not the lady at the bottom. That's Sin. So the lady at the bottom, she just recently interviewed his daughter. You know, the daughter came out and was, you know, saying all types of things about him. That's, you know, it's got to be really difficult, and not everyone can handle it. Not everyone would be able to handle a situation when a family member was to come out on YouTube. Since we're on YouTube, and like Dr. Umar said, he doesn't fuck with his dad because his daddy, his real biological daddy, came onto the YouTube streets and started hanging and interviewing with his YouTube street ops. Now, you know, so this is social media, and you have ops in the YouTube streets. I wouldn't say, you know, let's just not say like enemies, and because you haven't met these people, so they're ops they're virtual ops. So if you have a family member to come out and interview with them, and like his dad told them, if you think he's stolen some money, call the police on him. That's your son. He would never do that to you. He didn't do that to his father. He just told his dad to stay away from his damn kids. And, you know, somebody asking, because his dad stabbed him in the back. Now, if you guys notice, this channel is now called or titled or whatever, Black Queens Forever. Yeah, I did that because I can, and I totally got the idea from Dr. Umar Johnson. I totally did. Yes. You know, it's so refreshing to have a Black man speak up and fight for Black women the way that he does. You know, it's so refreshing because, like, whenever I go, I don't want to be too political. Let's just play some of this. Let's just play this right here. And this is good.
Sub-Saharan. I'm talking about the Sub-Saharan slave trade. You should go look into it.
Excuse me.
You address me, Umar. Go look into the Sub-Saharan slave trade where Black men are trading their women and children for alcohol and tobacco.
May I finish?
Go ahead, Dr. Umar. Influencer and YouTuber Cynthia G is back with us. Hi, Cynthia G.
Hi, how are you guys doing? I'm glad to be here again.
They just put a little part of what's going to happen, and he was so respectful. Hey, Kizzy K is in the building. How you doing? How you doing, Kizzy? Okay, so this lady that you see now. This video here is like a year old, I believe. Dr. Umar and her and a couple other people were all on a panel, and they were having a debate. And let me tell you something. She's a very smart lady, and so with everyone on that panel is smart. And our black people is smart. They is pretty. They is handsome. Okay, they is smart and intelligent. To the two people that's listening to me, and I thank you very much. Catch this on the replay. I know it's midnight. I told you I just got home. I'm off tomorrow. I'm going out of town in a couple of hours. It's a party. It ain't nothing but a party. Let's get back into this. Let's get back to listening to Sin G and Dr. Umar. It's called The Debate with Cynthia G. Hello.
I'm ready to go.
Let's go then. I'll do exactly what you tell me to do, and that would be go. Now, this question may seem rather odd and unusual for the title of this show alone in terms of, is there a war against Black men? But the question is always asked here on The Business of Being Black because, well, it is the business of being Black. So why should Black people care if there is a war on Black men or not? Cynthia, you kick it off.
So I first want to say there is a war on Black men by other Black men. And for that reason, I do think that we should care. I think that the perception of who's going to war against Black men is going to determine where our energy is directed. And I think it's counterproductive to focus on the group of men who are terrorizing the Black community simply because they're being bullied. There's no war against them by other people. They're being bullied by other groups of men. So that's why we should care.
Dewan, why should we care as Black Americans if there's a war out on your kind, being Black men?
We should care because Black men are the breadwinners of our society. And what we've seen, especially over the last 50 years, is the jobs that Black men specifically take have been taken away to other countries or put back into prison, which has then affected the whole family, which caused the so-called war on Black men, like Cynthia G just said, happens when Black men fight each other. That happens when the economy is destabilized. And you destabilize the economy through destabilizing the foundation of Black men's income to ability to earn income. So that's where the war on Black men is right now.
Hope, why should Black people care?
We should care simply because when Black men are not happy, Black women can't thrive. And then the Black household and Black families don't flourish. I think that as long as Black men feel attacked, they're always going to turn that back where they feel like they have the most power and honestly say so, which is the Black family. Oftentimes that energy that we pour into who is doing what to other people.
Let me just say this. All of these people on here are very intelligent. You know, they're speaking, they're doing really well, but I'm really waiting to hear Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Vonsa, my daughter said, you going outside? You mean when I go out of town? When I leave in a couple hours? Yes, ma'am. Lord, there's nothing happening in the creek or don't arise. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, child, I talked to your sister today, Bun, and that's all I'm gonna say is Okay, let me continue to play. So I just really want to I guess I gotta play it if I want to get to his content, his part.
People is then neglected within our own Black men, and then they cannot thrive as fathers, as nurturers, as caretakers, as heads of the household. But they can only do that if we acknowledge that there's a problem outside of us.
Dr. Umar, you, my sir, are a Black man. Why should I care about a war being waged against you?
If you care about the future of Black people, then you naturally have to care about the destiny of Black men. When you look at most of the pathology in the Black community today, from Black on Black crime, to single female headed households, to poor academic outcomes, to unemployment, much of that is due to the war against Black men. So if we want to survive and thrive as a Black family and as a Black community, we have to implement solutions for Black men.
So Cynthia G says that the war is waged against Black men towards Black men. So everything that you just listed, Cynthia would suggest that.
Woo-cha. It's gonna get good in a minute. Hey, Joy Chit Chat is in the building. How you doing? Joy Chit Chat is in the building. I got kids and I don't need nobody else. I got my hitters with me. I got some of the best hitters on the YouTube streets. I'm good. Ain't nobody else gotta come. We just gonna listen to Dr. Umar Chin Check. Everybody on this damn panel. Let's listen to Dr. Umar Johnson, the Pan-African Prince. I'm sorry, Dr. Umar. The Pan-African Prince. Chin Check. Oh, we already know, honey. He ain't no brother. Baby, he like a 5'5", thick in the thighs. Okay? And if I didn't have tummy, I'd be like, I'm 5'5", thick in the thighs. What you want to do, Dr. Umar? No, okay, I'm just kidding. Y'all know I be joking. Come on. Damn, y'all. Damn.
That is the fault of the Black man on his own.
And I would disagree with that. All of the problems that Black men have were introduced by the white power structure. We do not control the school system. We do not control the criminal justice system. We do not control the economic system. All of the problems that we struggle from were introduced by the white power structure. Black on Black crime is a byproduct. It is a second-hand influence of the white power structure against Black males. Stress, depression, fatherlessness, unemployment, miseducation, lack of economic opportunity. These are the ingredients that contribute to Black on Black crime. You cannot do an effective and accurate analysis of Black on Black crime until you first do an effective and accurate analysis of white on Black crime.
Cynthia G, you say what?
I say this is the typical Black community's dishonest. I'm going to blame every.
You know what? And I don't. Never mind. I'm not gonna even say nothing. I'm not gonna. Let Miss Cynthia G talk. I'm just gonna let her talk.
Everything on everyone outside of the Black community and ignore what Black men are choosing to do. The reality of it is the system is not making Black men do anything. Whether Black men have schools where they can send their boys to is up to them. Whether Black men just choose to educate themselves so that they're qualified for positions that will give them the income they need to support their families, that is on Black men. Nobody's forcing Black men to walk away from their children. Nobody's forcing Black men to murder Black women every 5.5 hours. Nobody's forcing Black men to abandon their children, publicly display how they don't like or care about their children. No one's forcing Black men to do anything. And I think it's a great disservice to pretend that someone is forcing Black men to do things rather than to put the accountability where it needs to be, which is Black men. If they have an issue with the system, they should have addressed it a long time ago. You don't get to complain that you don't have any power in a system that you didn't fight to have power in. You fought for assimilation. You did not fight for equality. That is on you. I think we're making excuses at this point.
Dwan?
And I would like to say,
Go ahead, Dr. Umar.
Briefly, that Lyndon Baines Johnson had commissioned a Kerner Commission in 1967-68 to investigate the causes of the 1967 Red Hot Summer. As you know, there were more race riots across America in 1967 than any other year since 1919, led by Newark, New Jersey, and Detroit, Michigan. The Kerner Commission were...
You know what turns me on about him? And when I say it turns me on, I mean his knowledge of things, his passion for our people, the way he speaks. That's what I mean when I say turns me on. I'm talking about the things that he's supporting, the things that he's talking about. He fucking knows what he's talking about. He can spit out stuff, bam, 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 and never miss a beat. Never misses a beat. He is a great orator. Yes, he is. Hey, Looney, how you doing? What's going on, Looney? Okay, let's get back to Dr. Umar Johnson. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Doc. Let me get back to you, boo. Let me get back to you.
For experts in criminology, sociology, education, politics, and etc. They produced a book that is, I believe, at least 500 pages that details the reasons why those riots took place. And according to the president's own commission, the problems that exist in the Black community were created by the white power structure, maintained by the white power structure, and enforced by the white power structure. So Cynthia G's position is totally inaccurate and has been refuted by expert testimony coming from the Kerner Commission itself. And I would also say, good sister, that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. One of the reasons Dr. King was murdered is because the Kerner Commission was released, which would have gave Dr. King all the ammunition he needed to lead his breadbasket campaign. Even the white power structure admits that the problems Black men face were introduced by the white power structure.
And to go on top of that.
Wait, Joy, I don't know how I missed that part. You better say that, PP. Number one hitters and Leos. Absolutely. And you know what? It's Dr. Umar Johnson is a Leo. It's nothing like a Leo man. Leo men are confident, they are strong, and they don't take no shit. They're the best ever. I'm not talking about. We're not talking about Tommy's side right now. We're talking about this right here. But Joy, you are so right, Joy. Yes, honey. Yes, you are so right. Number one, Leo. Look, it's just. I know it may not actually be what is Leo season right now. Mm-hmm. Leos are very. I mean, we're confident. We really like to prove our point. We really don't like to ever yield to anything. Let Leo men are toxic as at ease, my queen. At ease, my queen. Oh, Von, can you imagine him walking up to you and saying, "At ease, my queen"? All right, let me get back to playing the video.
To bring further evidence that Dr. Umar, what he's saying is right, we can go back to 1967 in South Central LA. There was one murder. Look it up. There was one murder in South Central LA in about a.
Now let me say, this brother right here, listen to him. He got his shit together. He know he's up. Come on, Big Papa. Let it out. I mean, little Big Papa. Because Dr. Umar, the big Papa. Okay, let it out. Let it out.
An 18-month period between 1967 and 1968. Why? Because there was adequate resources. UCLA was bringing black.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If he walked up to you, Von, Dr. Umar Johnson is who we're referencing, and said, "Good Garvey morning, at ease, my queen," you would purr like a kitten. Girl, me trying to be like, "Hey, Dr. Umar, I don't know what I would say, Von." But let me tell y'all something. I am infatuated with the things that he believes in, the things that he's talking about, the things that he supports. And I support his school 100%. And he just needs more assistance and help with his school, because people have really sort of damaged his reputation in a little bit, because, you know, people tend to do that when they talk about you day in and day out. Because there's a man on here that talks about Dr. Umar the way they talked about me. And I had multiple channels coming for me. Yes, ma'am. No, yes, ma'am. Him and Louis Farrakhan, no, you wouldn't, girl. You think you want a bean pie? Girl, I don't know what you look. I don't know what I would do if Dr. Umar Johnson walked up to me and just said, "At ease, my queen." Like, huh? I'm at ease. Am I 5'5" thick in the thigh? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, people. Don't take it serious. We do like to do comedy over here sometimes. All right, let's listen to Little Big Papa. Little Big Papa, Dwan Brown.
Black people in for free. When it came down to it, jobs were plentiful. When black people were adequately resourced, you didn't see black men killing each other. So when we talk about, you know, this thing that's going on, it's not that anyone is forcing black men to kill each other. That's not what nobody's saying. There's a cause and effect relationship between everything. And we're talking about having a full cause and effect, full on viewpoint of what's going on. What's the cause? What's the effect? When you live in a violent society that murdered its way to make the country and goes around the world enforcing murder, what's going to happen in that country is similar to what's going to happen outside the country. So we got to look at that. And when we talk about black men killing each other, it's just a handful at the end of the day. When black men interact, 99.9% of the time, the interactions are positive or neutral.
Well, then you don't have an argument for the system, because the whole system isn't doing anything to you. It's just a handful of people, right? But I wish we could get out the 1960s and jump into 2022. I feel like this is also another way for black men to gaslight, because they know they have done absolutely nothing. Even if you are complaining about the system and the Kerner Commission and all of these policies, you failed to do anything about them. It is your failure to address the issue as men that have these problems.
You know, I just don't understand black women that can just go at black men the way they do when our black men have had it so hard. Now, I know that they watched and it has trickled down over the hundreds of years when the man would come into the quarters after he has had dinner and he's ready to go smoke his cigar, and he'd walk down the road and come and pick whatever bed wench wife he wanted. Didn't matter if she was married to a black woman or not, and he was the white master, he would get the woman. I know that put something in their brains that one day I want they woman. I want to be able to get they woman. I'm going to get they woman. But black men are so special. I could never see myself with anything other than a black man. Black men forever, pink Congo sticks never. Pink Congo. I can't imagine having a pink Congo stick in front of me. This is after hours. Oh, and my brother's here. This is after hours. This is after hours stuff. Shout out to all the fathers that will do whatever necessary to see that. But what you not gonna do, at ease, my king. I'm gonna call you king. At ease, my king. At ease. What you not gonna do is disrespect Dr. Umar over here. Okay? Stop blaming the black women. Who's blaming the black women? Who's blaming the black women? Who's blaming the black women? That's what I know. I could never see myself with black kings forever. I love a black man. Black men are so special. They're so unique. They're just different. They're built. And it doesn't make me, I have no animosity or hate. It's just that black men they're like finding a big old huge diamond after you've been searching for years and you finally run up on that big diamond. They're a gem. It's nothing like them. And that's why when I see them out and about and they choose to do what they do when they have big fat okay, I'm gonna stop. I've been watching too much of Dr. Umar. I'm gonna have to watch. Oh, y'all can't even see me right now either. And I'm glad y'all couldn't see me. Let me play the tape.
What's going on? You can say it's only a handful of black men killing other black men, but the reality of it is you don't have the same energy when you're talking about police shootings of black men. Then you act like the entire police department, every last one in every single state, is doing something to you. But now when it comes to black men terrorizing
this woman here, you know what? I don't want no smoke with her though. So I'm gonna leave her alone because she talk a little too proper. She might try to come at me, and I don't want to be there because you know I'm gonna keep it. I'm just feeling feel. Black kings forever. Pink Congo sticks never. Black kings forever. Pink Congo sticks never. Black kings forever. Pink Congo sticks never. I said what I said, and I stand by it to the end of time. Never had a pink stick. Oh, that means I am pure. Oh, let me stop. Let me stop before I get in trouble, child. Let me stop before I get in trouble. Yeah, I knew you would skip that. I'm dying. What I skip, bro? Hey, Kizzy Vaughn. I love a good ping pong too. At ease, my brother, at ease. The Congo sticks are for the ladies. Okay. A Congo stick. A shung is a shungo. I think he called it shungo stick. I can only imagine. Okay, let me stop. Let me get myself together over here. Let me get myself together.
The community, making the community unsafe, killing Black men, women, and children. Now you want to go to, oh, it's only a few of them. Be that as it may, the bottom.
Speak to your niece, bro. That's your niece. Speak to your niece. Hey, Uncle Mike. Hey, Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike. Lies you tell I'm riding. Oh my goodness. You know what? You are so gross. Let me go back to, oh, child.
Line is the issues that Black men are inflicting on the community are issues that we should be focusing on.
I want to get Hope in on this real quick. Hope?
I mean, the fact of the lack of elevation and evolution that we see in these arguments are my biggest issue. Once again, we're back in the 1960s when we should be having, like Sin just said, a current conversation. Currently, Black men are not being held at the fire and said that if you don't provide this, or if you don't show up in this way, we're going to do X, Y, and Z to your family. Y'all just are not showing up. And then when you're asked to be held accountable to these things, you say things like, well, back in this time, and when we tried to do this back in a couple of years ago, half of y'all weren't even around when those things were, put into action. And then when you found out about them, instead of bringing them back to the forefront to see if they would work for you in this day and age, you just talk about what didn't work in the back, on the back end of things. I think that a lot of the times you all find it a lot easier to gaslight us into believing that we're the problem so that you can have more time to figure out what the solution is, but that's not the solution anymore. We figured out that doesn't work, and you trying to buy time in the system is not going to help anybody, and especially not the Black communities that you say that you love.
Before we go to break,
let me tell y'all something. This was a panel of some very, very intelligent Black people, baby, sisters and brothers. Okay? So y'all listen. Y'all getting some free advice over here. Listen. Here come Dr. Umar.
Hold that thought, Dwan. Before we go to break, I do want to take up for my Black brothers here. The CDC reports that Black men show up to their families more than any other race in this country. Black men are
come on now, because both of my daughters got good husbands. Yeah. Vaughn, my daughter Vaughn, man over there. Come on now, Ashman. Come on now. Don't play with me. Black men do show up, right, bro? Don't y'all show up?
Taking their children to school. Black men are playing sports and doing outside extracurricular activities with their children more than white men, more than Asian Americans, more than any other ethnicity in this country. But we'll continue to talk about the war being waged against Black men when we return on Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack on Fox Soul. We'll be back. Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack. I am Tammy Mack, and the business of being Black today are Black men. Is there a war being waged against Black men? First of all, I want to see where you all stand just by a yes or no. Dr. Umar, is there? Yes or no?
Absolutely, yes.
Hope, is there?
No.
Dwan?
Absolutely, yes.
Cynthia G, where are you on this?
The only war is the war that Black men are waging against the Black community.
Now, everybody else answer yes or no.
So is that a yes or no?
Yes, there is.
Dewan, if there is a war waging against Black men, do Black men have allies?
No. The only allies we have is our other, I would say we don't have any outside allies as far as any other races, no. The only allies we have are Black women who are on code with Black men.
Because I was about to be real mad. I was about to go ham.
No. Because it's a lot of Black women who are on code. I know I'm married to one. I've been with the same woman for 20 years. So I can preach, I can walk what I preach when it comes down to.
Come on, Big Papa. He been with the same woman for 20. Now listen, just because a man may not be married to his baby mama, you still can't hold that against him, because sometimes things just aren't meant to be. It's not in the cards. Doesn't mean that they're not a good father. Doesn't mean that they're a deadbeat father, aka Dr. Umar, who has given support to his firstborn for the, all, she's 22 now, took care of her, and he's taking care of his 14-year-old. But him and the mothers, they just didn't make. Look at Jaquez and DeAndre Sanders. The baby was just born, and they broke up, but he is taking care of that baby. Every time you see him dressed, he got the baby dressed just like him. So sometimes you don't have to be with the woman, and you can still support your child or whatever. But now then there's some black men, like I say, my daughters have 2 awesome black men, awesome black husbands, take care of their families. Both of them are stay-at-home moms, Ashley's a stay-at-home mom, so is my daughter Vaughn. It is what it is. Who's gonna check us, boo? Not you. I didn't think so. Okay, let's go.
We do have allies, and the allies, the ally is the black man, woman, and child. With this whole fight between black men and black women, it's like the women forgot about the kids. It's like it's this whole war going on, and it's like the kids be damned. You have people like Dr.
You jumped on me there, Dewan. You jumped on me. I don't even know how we got to the kids.
No, because we're all one. Black man, woman, and child.
Are you talking about the kids that black men abandon and publicly talk about how they don't want those children?
I can't speak for your life, but all those, my father's always been there for me. My wife's father's always been there for her. I'm there for my wife. My grandparents are there. I have married lineage. I can go back 400 years of marriages. So I don't know.
Be that as it may, it's very well documented.
I was talking. When it comes down to it, there are some men that leave. And we're going to talk about the men that leave. Let's talk about a lot of men that leave because of how they were pushed out by people who were going around trying to get government benefits. Let's talk about.
Because some women prefer to be able to get their checks and food card. It is what it is. Sometimes it's more. Listen, guys, I know of a couple right now personally with a new baby that are not getting married because they want to get the benefits of the WIC and all of the free stuff. I'm telling you what I know. I'm not lying, people.
That if he's not there, let's talk about all these single family households that are there because somebody wanted a baby so they can get a check one day and didn't give a damn about who she had that baby with. 80% of the women having the sex with the same 20% of men. If you keep in that same loophole, you got to look in the mirror.
Well, period. I don't know, Dewan. I mean, your points are well taken. I'm just confused on how we go from a war against black men to women having babies by different men.
How am I bashing the black woman? No, I'm keeping it a buck. When I say that about a couple, that is the black man and the black woman, or it could be, they could be white, coming together saying, we're not going to get married. We're going to get the support and the benefits from the state. I love black men. I would never abandon or talk. No, black men have had it hard. There could have been nothing worse all those hundreds of years ago to see a man come in and get your wife out of bed to take her out and have sex with her and then put a baby in her that comes out looking mixed or either totally like him or whatever and not like you, but you know that's your wife. There could have been nothing more humiliating than that. And that is why I know that is why the black man to this day chases that white woman. They do. I know. Black men need to make enough to provide for their family if that's the case. Well, what are you doing for your family? You gonna get up? You a black man. And how can they? What do you mean make enough? They're not in control of the system. We are. There is something that has been put in place to keep us down. They will never give us enough to be able to fully succeed. And when we did have it going on, i.e. Black Wall Street, they burned it down. I think it was more humiliation to the woman that had to have sex with the white men. It was humiliation to both. Humiliation to both. but mainly men. Men are very proud. Men can dish out everything, but they can't take what they do when it comes back to them. So no, I'm going to disagree with you respectfully. Men cannot handle it. When they're cheated on by their woman after they could have screwed 50,000 women, but if they woman just step out one time, they can't handle it. Just can't handle it. And that's a proven fact. That's a fact. You talking about how the black man felt the woman body was taken advantage of. He did feel like that. I know he felt like his woman it belittled him. It belittled him to be in bed with his wife after they done slaved on the roads and the kitchens all day long, for the man to come in with his cigar. Come here, Sally. Don't get me started. I'm not gonna go there tonight. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
And it's not adding up here. Dr. Umar, help me make the math.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a couple things. Number one, we have to make sure that we conduct a systems analysis and an institutional assessment. Communities are made up of institutions or the lack thereof. Communities are governed by systems or the lack thereof. Let us be very clear about something. This fratricide, this black on black crime that so many of our brothers are engaging in, let us remember, Irish did the same thing. Italians did the same thing. European Jews did the same.
Oh, you better say it. This is why I love this man's opinions. The mafia, they were known for The Godfather. They made movies about how they killed people, put dead horses in the bed with them, made you kiss them. You kiss me, I'll take care of you. But remember, there may be a day when I'll come for you. Okay, Godfather. Come on, people. And Dr. Umar is breaking it down. These criminalistic people but we're the only ones that are being demonized because some of us may have had to do some shady things. But the Italians were known. Come on. Come on, people. Well, I'm going to let Dr. Umar tell y'all. Let me let Dr. Umar tell y'all.
Same thing. And in the 1930s and 1940s, the United States government decided to upgrade them to white status, and in so doing, gave the Italians control of the fire departments in the black community, gave the Irish control of the police departments in the black community, and gave the European Jewish immigrants control of the civil service municipal jobs.
Now, I don't know about nobody else, but I didn't. Maybe I should have known all of that. Maybe I've heard of it and I forgot it. But you see how easy that flows out of his mouth and off of his tongue. He knows what he's talking about. He doesn't have to stutter. He doesn't flinch, and he doesn't blink. He knows what he's talking about. That's why I support him, and I believe in the things that he's talking about. Now, you know, and I can separate his personal life from his social justice life. Some people can't do that, but I can do that because maybe I'm smarter. I don't know. But I can do that. But do you hear how effortless these things are coming out of his mouth? Do you hear the words that are coming out of his mouth? Let's get back to it, because this show sounds good.
Jobs that they still control in many city centers today. The point that I'm making, Tammy, is that America gave Southern European immigrants an economic stimulus package. Before they gave that economic stimulus package to Jews, Irish, and Italians, they were doing the exact same thing black men are doing today, selling drugs, breaking the law, running in gangs, killing one another. But the government intervened and aided them. The reason black male pathology is still going on 30, 40, 50 years later is there has been no resolution, there have been no solutions, and there have been no governmental intervention. With that being said, I'm not waiting on the government to solve the problems of Black men. We as Black men have to unite, come together, organize, and solve our own problems. Just because we can admit that the government introduced pathology into the Black community, we can still take full responsibility for ending it ourselves.
Hope, I see you nodding.
Yes, because I feel like when you can name all of these things so eloquently and so beautifully, and yet y'all still fail at being able to do these things after years and years.
Now look, girl, I was starting to like you, but what you not gonna do is come for Dr. Umar, because I know he named them eloquently, but what he said was the truth. But let me hear what she got to say. Y'all know I like the joke too. I like the joke. I'm just playing. This sister is very smart. Hope Giselle got it going on. Okay, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Years and years and years and years of trying. Where do we find a new solution? Because if you can't talk to each other, if the old men are scared of these new boys because they're a lot wilder than y'all were, because they're a lot more buck than y'all were, what ends up happening is I see that a lot of y'all see these young boys, and instead of addressing them, y'all are afraid of them. And so you walk away and say, well, that's their generation's problem. And it can't just be that generation's problem. Like Sin has been continuously saying, if I have to just answer the question with a yes or no, my answer is no, because the war that we're fighting for Black men is the one that Black men are fighting within themselves. Is it about adjacency to whiteness? Is it about being able to assimilate to that white hand? Or is it really about the freedom of Black men in the Black family and the Black community?
I like that question a lot, Hope. I want to hang on to that question. Dewan, if there is a war.
And you know what? The more I study and I research, Dr. Umar's views and things, he's all about Black people, us coming together. So I'm finding it really hard for me to, that's one reason I stopped talking about all of the other stuff, because we've got to come together. We're all Black queens and the men are kings, okay? We can't be fighting them against each other. So one day, and I hope it's soon, some of these content creators out there that are constantly going at each other, mainly, women going after other Black women for no reason, because men don't really do that. Like, oh, I take that back. There's this one man that's going after Dr. Umar like it ain't nobody's business. He's one weird dude. He reminds me of somebody I went to high school with. Anyway.
Against Black men, what exactly is the war?
The war is to disenfranchise Black men economically, because when you destabilize us economically, everything else is going to fall. We can take this back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which Maslow didn't come up with, but that's who gets credit for it. When you take away food, clothing, and shelter, everything on top is going to crumble.
If you take away someone's food, clothing, and shelter, what are they going to do? And that's what they did to the Black man. They took away his food, his clothing, and his clothing and his shelter. What is he supposed to do? This brother right here, he's no Dr. Umar, but he did good. He did good.
That's just human science. And what I'm hearing right now are people that are saying, ignore the science, ignore what's been proven for thousands of years, and let's just focus on these Black men. I don't care that everyone else has done it when they were in the same economic situation. I don't care the fact that Black men don't do this when they're sort of stable. Let's ignore all of that stuff and let's just go back to what Black men need to be doing. When you take away the bottom need of the pyramid, everything else is going to crumble. And with that being done, it's still only a few of us crumbling. It's a whole lot of us winning too.
I agree with that. I want to go ahead, Hope.
I was going to say, but it's at the expense of the Black families that y'all claim to care so much about. I think that what we fail to realize is that when the Black men who do have that platform that are not doing those things get on, the last thing that they're thinking about is the Black adjacency to their family. They want to assimilate to whatever whiteness, whatever white male privilege they can get. And that's a large part of the problem. We see this happen when we look at social media, and we're seeing Black men publicly proclaim the idea of loving on everything but a Black woman, wanting to have children because their eyes and their hair are going to be looser and more exotic looking. You do not see that as much in the influx of Black women as you do in Black men. So when y'all do get on, then it should be the responsibility of y'all, if y'all really care about this upholding of the Black family, to then.
I will say that I am very disappointed in Serena, who was once darker than that woman right there with short, beautiful hair. And now she's wearing these long blonde. I'm gonna tell you something. Me as a dark-skinned women do not look good with no damn blonde hair. You don't look good with no blonde hair. I'm too dark to wear blonde hair. Why come out here with a whole blonde wig? But I don't know what Serena did to herself, but she is like, what? Did she just sit in a whole tub of bleach? How do they do that? I don't even know how you change your skin tone. How do you change your skin color? And I like her. I know I guess she doesn't want her two little mixed kids who are very, very light. They came out more on the white side and not looking much like her, especially when it comes to skin tone. I guess she just wants to look more like, how I just shade you. How I shade you? What did I say? I'm not shading you. What did I say? I'm talking about Serena. She the one who done got in a doggone pool of something to turn her skin a whole different color. They bleach their skin. Well, how do they do that? That is something else. I've worn some daughter as your mother, your other mother. You don't need no blonde hair. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I can't rock down that road with you. You don't need no blonde hair. At ease, my queen. At ease. Okay? There are creams and lotions and stuff. Well, I don't know what but Serena was so dark. Little nappy, little I guess she put it over her entire body, her toes, her fingers, and everything. Okay, no, but don't do no blonde. Don't do no blonde. Vaughn, come on, Vaughn. Blonde? How you gonna have a whole head of blonde hair? No. Well, you grown. You do what you want, just like Ashley shit. Y'all do what y'all want, y'all. I can't tell y'all nothing. Y'all don't listen to me. All I did was hair you. Okay, let's get back to the video. I done got off topic.
Come back to the Black communities that you come from and create those Black families and show people.
Dr. Umar, you welcomed us to the show by saying Black power. Black power. Okay. Is there some truth to the assimilation that Black men want or perceive to want when it comes to this war being waged against you?
Well, there's definitely some truth to it, but I think that truth is also evident in Black women. Black men, many of them may choose to want a white woman, but many Black women choose to look like white women. So we have to look at ourselves, and we have.
I.e. quit putting blonde hair in your head. That goes for anybody. But mainly my daughter. Okay. What if I came on here with a whole blonde wig on my head, black as I am? I don't know what's wrong with Serena. And then her sister over in England, London, or Italy or somewhere, and got her a whole Italian man or something. Damn. They don't like, what's the problem? Do they not know what they missing? See, they ain't never had a real man. You ain't had a real man until you had a Black man. You ain't had a real man until you had a Black man. You haven't had a real man until you had a Black man.
have to recognize that the pathology is not more of one gender than the other. That's the issue I have with conversations that seek to see who is more at fault, the Black man or the Black woman. It's not about who's more at fault. We rise together or we will perish together. The Black man cannot survive without his woman, and the Black woman cannot survive without her man. And the issue that I take with my two sisters' narrative is I hear a lot of criticism.
That just sounds so sexy. The Black man can't survive without the woman. Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar. Okay. All right, let's go back. I got to do a little dramatic. I got to make it interesting, y'all. I'm only joking, okay? I'm joking.
I hear a lot of condemnation, but I don't hear any empowerment. I don't hear any solutions coming from either one of them. It appears as if that there is a hatred towards Black men by those sisters. Even when they said, why are we going back to 1960? Let's stay in 2022. That is so immature and irresponsible of a statement. As a psychologist, when a client comes into my office, the first thing I perform is a history on their depression, a history on their suicide, a history on their anxiety. When you go see the medical doctor, he performs a history. When you go buy a home, they perform a history. When you go purchase an automobile.
Child. Let me just say this. That man is awesome. That man is awesome. And when I say he's awesome, I mean the things that he talk about and the things that he's saying and the things that he support, because a man is still a man and he's only a man. He's not God, and he will have flaws. But I'm talking about when I say he's awesome, and it sort of turns me on a little bit to hear him talk about certain things. I'm talking about stuff like this. Okay. All right, let's get back to it.
Bill, they perform a history on that automobile. But when we talk about the problems that affect Black males, we're supposed to look at it in a vacuum. We're not supposed to put it in a historical context. And with that being said, the language and the narrative that's coming out of the mouth of these two beautiful Black women is one that I think the white power structure would endorse, because it totally absolves.
And notice, he said beautiful Black women. He never disrespected those women. He said beautiful Black women because he loved him some Black. He likes some 5'5" thick in the thighs, but he does love Black. It doesn't matter your shade. If you Black, you Black. You could be high, you could be as high yellow as you could be. But if you all natural and you Black, it is what he. But he respects all other races, okay? But I'm just saying he's Pan-African. All right. I'm learning. I've been learning too, guys. I'm learning too.
Absolves them of any responsibility for the hell Black men catch in this country.
Cynthia G, you did say, why are we going all the way back to 1960? There is some truth to history when it comes to evaluating anything or anyone. So what do you say to that? Hold that thought, because I only got about 30 seconds here, so I don't want you to get into it, because I know you're going to get into it good, sis, and then have to come right back out of it. You understand? So just make sure you understand the question at hand, which is about a person's history, in this particular case, Black men's history in America, and why it doesn't matter when it comes to the war being waged against them. We'll talk about that and more when we return on The Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack on Fox Soul. Oh, we'll be back. Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack. I am Tammy Mack, and the business of being Black today is Black men. Is there a war being waged against them? We left off with Dr. Umar talking about how history matters when it comes to the contextual matters of Black men having wars waged.
I think he likes women, period. I think he did a post tonight on his. He likes women. Listen, no, he's not. Oh, so you saying you think he's partial to the lighter skinned sisters? I would beg to differ. I beg to differ. He said he went. Now I disagree with that. I don't know. He don't need but one wife. Just like I'm upset with Neo where he got 3 women and he put that song out, Religious, and now he got 3 women. I thought he was really in love with that one woman. Now he just want all the women and they can't see nobody else. But it's on a woman. I don't know what type of a woman goes into a relationship and says openly and says, okay, I know you're going to have 2 or 3 other women. I'm totally okay. I can't do that. I could never do that. I'll just be alone for the rest of my life. I'm not going to willingly, knowingly go into a relationship where a man says I got 2 or 3 other women, I got another wife or whatever. No, you don't. The fuck? No, I don't agree. She can have you. She can have you. I will remove myself. I'm out. Bye. All right. Yeah, because he's always talking about black hair. I think he wants a lighter black woman with nice natural. Really? No. I don't know if I agree with that. I think he's open to. I think he just like a 5'5" thick in the thighs.
Waged against them, a war waged against them. So Cynthia G, what do you say to historical context?
I say we should go to the historical context because what I have not heard from Dr. Umar Johnson, or I think his name is Dewan, is what I have not heard.
No, I do know he did say that he wants 2 women. I know. I disagree with that. I don't. Yeah, he did. I heard him say. Yes, I heard him say he want to have him 2 wives. But a man like that, it's like in the movie. What was it? Wesley Snipes. A man like that gonna take it's just gonna take a lot to hold him down. PP, are you 5'5"? No. You know I'm 5. Yeah, I'm 5'5" and thick in the thigh. No, girl. No. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the women that he likes. I'm talking about the women that he likes. Okay, I'm good. This is just commentary for me, cause we know you. But Vaughn, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Let me play the video. Why is my daughter attacking me? What did happen? Is you finna make a video about me now? What's going on? Why are you attacking me?
As they're mentioning all of the things that was done to them, I haven't heard what you did in response to it. So I would like to know, what did you do in response in history other than go to the Supreme Court and petition to have access to the men's women that you're complaining and accusing of disenfranchising you? See, because in the 1960s, what Black men were really doing, and it's been documented, many civil rights leaders have admitted to it, what Black men were doing is chasing the white man's woman, trying to so-called.
Now, I'm going to have to agree with her on this because I do know that Dr. Martin Luther King, there were tapes where were recorded where he was with a white woman in a hotel. I'm telling you, it's psychological. It's because these men from all of those years of slavery and their wives being taken from them or sold off by the white man to, they still want revenge. They don't care if they have to get a big fat white woman, a little skinny white, it doesn't matter. Have you ever seen a fine Black man with a big old fat white woman and 2 or 3 kids and you just looking like wonder why? Oh, Lord, forgive me. I'm just trying to prove a point. Let me hush. Let me stop. Because y'all gonna take it the wrong way.
Stick it to him by way of going to their women. What you should have been doing is trying to get liberation for yourself. What you should have been trying to do is get that foot off your neck. But see, the foot is not on your neck And the only time you recognize it being on your neck is when you want to get away with doing something that you think white men are getting away with doing. Because let's just be real.
I know, Bun. Can you imagine? And Coretta was at home with the little kids, and he at a hotel with a white woman. That's what I'm saying. You know, it's nothing but trauma from hundreds of years. When somebody like Dr. Martin Luther King would want to be, and Coretta was that girl. Okay. That's how I know I think it's an illness. I think they sick in the head.
Whenever we hear about this war against Black men, it's usually being brought up when there's a Black man like R. Kelly, Bill Cosby. We see Trey Songz going through it, Ari Spears, when they engage in some degeneracy. And then
while I'm thinking about it, Diane Carroll loved. She absolutely loved. What's his name? It was what's the man's name? Oh, now I can't even think of his name. And I read up on them today. Sidney Poitier. She loved Sidney Poitier. You know, he was married to a Black lady at first. They had three kids, and then he divorced her. But he had a long relationship with Diane Carroll, and she really wanted to be his wife. She loved that man. And he married a white lady. He married a white lady. And that, I truly believe that broke her heart. And you know, when Dr. Umar says that, you know, our Black men, but it really does seem like it be our Black men that are so, not, I won't say so smart, but are, you know, they have, you know, it's the ones that have it going on, you know, especially like, look at Travis Hunter. And the woman totally shamed him in public numerous times. And then my ultimate thing is Kobe Bryant. Because that woman, Vanessa, she don't even like his mom and dad, and she is control of all of his fucking money. And she is donating to everything that's not African American with his money. She didn't dribble not one damn ball. She didn't dunk not one. She did. Okay. I never liked Kobe's wife. I don't know why he was so infatuated with her. And to me, as a Black man, if a Black man, after seeing what happened to OJ, that would just scare me straight. I would just die if Jim. I don't mean to laugh. If he left you and got him a little white petite woman and left you and your children and go and had 2 or 3 more, because that's what they'll do. That's what they do. That's what they do. I've seen it happen. And they be getting our fine brothers. And some of them be, I don't fucking get it. Like, why? Just marry 5'5", thick in the thighs, red bone. Don't go outside our color. OJ, from the moment he saw her in there, he should have left that little girl at the restaurant where she was waitressing at. May she rest in peace. Because it ruined his entire life. It ruined his life. And then when he beat the charge, he still, you know, it was just destiny that he ended up, I don't know. I would be, oh no, don't say that, Vaughn. She got to go. She's not gonna be riding around in the Barbie Jeep with her and Jim. She gonna be the Barbie. I'm sorry. Oh Lord, they gonna get me. I'm sorry. All right, let me finish playing this.
And they're getting the consequence for it. And Black men think that because they perceive white men to be getting away with crimes, they want to be able to get away with crimes as well. The reality is, Dr. Umar can sit up here and list all the different ways that the system is disenfranchising Black men and Black men in a victim boat. But the reality,
Bun, real talk. Can't you see if Dr. Umar walked up to her and said, "At ease, my queen. How you doing?" Don't you know them glasses would come off and that damn wig she got taped on her head would come? Baby, it would be a whole different story. All right, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop.
what he cannot tell you is what Black men did in response to it, because they did nothing. They laid down and they nested under the skirt of their non-Black preferences, and only to complain that whenever they commit a crime, they're not getting off like they.
So let's find out, Dr. Umar, what have Black men done?
Well, number one, again, I think that it is such a shame coming from a psychological perspective that we seek to heal our wounds as a people by relying on unprofessional testimony by individuals who.
Bon, I'm serious. And even after she interviewed his daughter, she would melt if they just one-on-one with him. She would not give him that energy. He would totally take over her whole being with just his voice and his words. And I know it, because hell, it might what happened to me. No, I'm just, but seriously, I really do mean that. I mean that.
Have a vendetta against the opposite gender in their community. When you hear Sister Cynthia speak, you can hear a hurt and a pain and a hatred towards Black men. We cannot find an effective solution to Black male-female relationship issues or the oppression of Black men or Black women when the people at the table having the conversation have negative emotional and pathological interests in the conversation that are not.
Umar, the question wasn't about my emotional state. The question was, what did Black men do in response to their disenfranchisement?
And you see how smooth and eloquent he was with pretty much saying, you is in your feelings, boo-boo, kitty, and you psychological right now. And and she interrupted him. He didn't interrupt. You know you're losing when you interrupt the other person that's speaking and they never interrupt you. The entire time she talked and gave her rebuttal, he never said a word. He never said a mumbling word, because he got it like that. Oh, damn.
Yeah, because you're trying to pathologize my emotional state, not knowing that I'm a psychologist too. But what you're not doing is telling us what Black men did.
I believe he'll get there, Dr. Umar.
May I finish?
Dr. Umar.
And I'll end it quickly, Sister Tammy. According to Mrs. Cynthia G., Dr. King was assassinated because he was doing nothing. Malcolm X was assassinated because he was doing nothing. Medgar Evers was assassinated because he was doing nothing. Fred Hampton was assassinated because he was doing nothing. That narrative that Black men have done nothing to fight back against systemic oppression, not only against ourselves, but against our women, our children, our elders, and our community, is absolutely ridiculous. The cemetery is filled with Black men, names we know and names we don't know, who gave their life for the freedom, liberation, and emancipation of African people. How can you disrespect the history of so many Black men, past and present, who continue to fight? I'm sitting in a school right now that we built with all Black money, 4 buildings that we're going to educate Black men in. It's not easy to solve our problems because there's always Black people in your very same community who's fighting against what you're trying to do to help it. But in addition to that, the white power structure is always waving its wand of oppression to try to sabotage anything we do. I think that the analysis of our women is too overly simplistic, and in being such, it is dishonest.
Woo! Now y'all see how he spit those words out so effortlessly. He didn't miss a beat. And it wasn't pre-record, he just let it flow. That's how I know he's the real deal. He's for real. Because he has done his research. He has studied. And he knows what he's talking about. And that's why I'm going to continue to donate to his school. And I pray and hope that it gets open real soon for the young black men. That is something that we need, that school. I may be late to the party, but baby, I will do my part. And I implore you guys to do it as well. Donate to FDMG Academy. All right, let's get back to listening to Dr. Umar and company.
So much, you've only listed names and not accomplishments, though.
I can list some accomplishments. Okay, when it comes down to it, what have black men done since the 60s? We've turned around and we've gotten, we're still inventing things. We still.
Okay, come on, Big Papa. Well, tell us about what black men has done. He gonna let her know.
Open up businesses here in LA. You got black businesses all around town. It's just that when we open these businesses up, you have a city that these black businesses suddenly catch on fire. You have issues when it comes down to what's going on right now with one of my cousins and these abatement laws, who's built plenty of properties here in LA, managing it, but because there was some gang activity down the street, a nuisance abatement is about to get all of his properties taken. So when black men do build things, and we build things on individual basis, you're not going to see an NBC special about what the great black man built. When Irv Gotti, Suge Knight, and J. Prince tried to put together a distribution, they all got charges the next week. So it's not like we don't build things. When we do build things, something always ends up seeming to happening. And in spite of that, you've seen the most black business male ownership that's gone up in the last 60 years since the coronavirus. We still doing it. I personally got 3 businesses, so I don't know what you're talking about. I employ young black men. I've helped thousands of black children here in South Central LA. So all this black men ain't doing nothing. Where are you kicking it at?
So how are you? So how are black men creating all these businesses?
Where are you kicking it at? On the other side of the track. Okay. Come to the Cascade skating rink, not the other one. Okay.
Still costing the government $50 billion a year.
Hold that thought. I want to get hope in here real quick, Dr. Umar. I want to get hope in here because Dr. Umar listed a plethora of black men that we know, and I'm assuming he listed the ones that we know so that we can identify and all.
Wait, did she just say Dr. Umar listed a plethora of the other guys? Go on, girl. My bro is smart. My bro CMA, baby. They be knowing them words. Go on, bro. Where are you kicking it? Where are you? I'm gonna ask the chat. Where are you kicking it at? Where are you kicking it at? Because I'm personally kicking it where I can see what black brothers are doing. You know, some of you are living in a bubble. You know what I'm saying? You got long blonde hair in your head, and you just don't know what's going on in the world. Free yourself. Take that hair out your head. Quit bleaching your skin. You're black. You're African.
I'll agree that these black men have done something in terms of the fight for equality in America. How do you feel about those men that he listed, Hope? Have they done anything for the black community or not?
Most definitely, I would be ignorant to say that they haven't, right? But I think that what we're failing to realize is that when we have this conversation about what black men have done, the consequences are usually because of white supremacy and the gaze of white folks on us are that the black men are then taken away and the black women have to then sustain those things. To say that black women are unappreciative of that, it would be, I think that is the dishonesty, right? The way that black women show up for the black community and the black families, regardless of how we feel about the black men that we might be interacting with or the black men that are doing bad things, while still staying here to cultivate the black men wwho are, is, I mean, to overlook that to me is just dishonest. The idea that a lot of you all were raised by grandma them and auntie them and all of these amazing black women that are in community and share space with you and share space with your children, that's being looked over. But also this isn't, Dr. Umar, you're right. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that you said, but you're absolutely right. It's not about the idea of who's doing it better or trying to, the pissing match of the oppression Olympics amongst Black people, but it's really about working together. The problem is, what I find in working together is that the Black man wants to lead, whether he's acquired the gumption and the knowledge to be able to do so appropriately and effectively or not. The thing about it is, when you're working together, we are a team. You get to lead this portion because you're better at it. I get to lead that portion because I'm better at it. And then we come to a common ground for both of us to succeed. But a lot of the times when we're talking about these succession plans and we're making all of these advocacy movements in order to progress the Black family, the Black man says, listen to me or fail. Right? As if Black women have nothing to contribute to that. And I think that that's where the problem is. That's where the discourse needs to happen, is how do we work together so that Black men understand that we are meant to work side by side and not with me following you with my head down and saying, yes, that's our master. Because that is me being subservient to you in a way that I might not want to do, especially considering if you do not have the credentials, the know-how, the wherewithal, or the lived experiences to lead me in a way that I might be better suited to do in this point of our journey. And
Dr.
Black
Umar.
Well, first of all, I do not endorse any kind of a second-class citizenship role for Black women. I believe Black women have as much to offer as do Black men. So I'm not sure who the Queen is referring to, because I am not a misogynist and I do not support that type of narrative that said the Black woman's position is only to have children and to prepare food. But at the same time, I think Black women have to look at themselves, because although white supremacy has been the greatest enemy of the progress of Black men, you would also have to argue that Black women have probably been the greatest accomplice to supporting the white power structure in their destruction of Black males, i.e. the conversation we're having right now, where two intelligent Black women have yet to indict white supremacy for the role that they play in the destabilization of the lives of Black men.
So when we come back, we'll find out if the two beautiful sisters who are on the panel will indict white supremacy when we return on The Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack on Fox Soul. Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack. I am Tammy Mack, and the business of being Black today is Black men. Has there been a war waged against our brothers? Well, please welcome author and activist Hope Chisel, Doctor of Clinical Psychology, Dr. Umar Johnson, radio personality and family advocate, Dewan Brown, influencer and YouTuber, Cynthia G. Well, thank you all for this conversation. Do Black men in America face more obstacles than Black men in other countries? We're going to talk about that. But first, I want to know, is white supremacy responsible for any of the Black man's plight at all? Hope?
Most definitely. Like, let's not play coy here. We understand the role that white supremacy has played. But I think that over time, as we learn the tricks of white supremacy, right, we learn to do better to defeat it. And I find that, especially as Black men, a lot of the time when we're talking about this war on Black men, we fail to realize that Black women are underneath the same scrutinies. Maybe not in the same way and maybe not for the same reasons, but y'all are not going through this alone. And so when you talk about the ways in which Black women have learned to take, you know, what we're given and turn it into glitter and throw it up and make Black girl magic, we wonder why those things are not happening for Black men in the same way. And it's largely because I think that complacency happens. A lot of Black men, not all, are complacent with the idea of being saved by everyone other than themselves. They're okay with the idea of being saved by Black women, white women, women of all other races. They're okay with the idea of being saved by white men who give them the opportunity to come and be a part of this thing that's better than what they are. But what they're not doing is being complacent in the idea of finding their own solutions to digging their way out of the hole. And having one or two people that are speaking on it with the idea of inclusion or exclusion of certain people within the Black community is also a problem. We cannot build as a Black community if we want to throw out this group of people or throw out that group of people or tell these people that their opinions are invalid, even though they're Black, because they're mixed race or because they're queer or because of all these other, you know, incidences. And I think that those are the things that we have to focus on. The goalposts can't constantly be moved in this conversation whenever Black women start to make a point for the sake of Black men feeling like they need to be able to dismantle that in order to talk about how they've been hurt. We get that. We have
Cynthia
to.
G, white supremacy, does it exist in your world?
Absolutely.
And has it affected Black men?
Absolutely, it exists. And Black men have worked in tandem with white supremacy since they've come in contact with it. And this is why I say in the Black community, we have very disingenuous, very dishonest discussions, especially when it's regarding Black men, because we do have a Black male worshiping culture. So what we do within that culture, and Umar Johnson is showing it today, is absolve Black men from any accountability for what they've done. Number one, we wouldn't be in a system of white supremacy had it not been for Black men. So if you want to go all the way back to history, then let's go back to history when Black men were selling their own people into white supremacy. Let's go back into history when 16 years off the plantation, Black men were worried about a war being waged on them. They were worried about getting access to white women. That's what you were worried about. And it's interesting. There's a reason why I feel like Umar focused.
Maybe her baby daddy got a baby by a white woman. I don't know, but she don't really feel the Black men. I don't know. Okay. Because I could just imagine if my man left me for a white woman, I would be really well. Okay, let me stop. I'm doing too much.
It's mostly on me and Hope's attitudes, and it's because he can't accurately answer the question. He mentioned names, not accomplishments. And the reason being is because
I think he mentioned those names specifically because the accomplishments of those people don't have to be explained.
Right, but those accomplishments are also accomplishments that I've heard Umar Johnson speak negatively about, specifically the civil rights movement and how damaging it was to Black people. But now he wants to.
Yeah, she could be like Tia and Tamara. You know, Tia chose to marry a Black man. Tamara married a white man. You know, so you could say Tamara chose to have someone look like her father. And Tia chose to have someone that looked more like her mother because their mother, and shout out to their mother, Tia and Tamara. She never believes it. She's darker than me. She is one dark-skinned sister, natural hair. But all of her kids that she had by her white husband came out looking just, like Tia and Tamara. But she's never tried to turn herself into looking like them, like Serena is doing. She's a red bone. Yeah. Sinji she's a pretty lady. And like Dr. Umar, he totally respected her. Yeah, one of her parents probably is African American. I'm just saying. Hi, yellow. Tia looks more Black than Tamara. Yeah. She's my color. Yeah, the mom. Yeah, she is. I saw her. And they, but that's something how none of them came out dark skinned like the mama. Is the white sperm that anyway.
To sit here and say the very people who accomplished that were accomplishing something beneficial when in his own opinion, that wasn't beneficial and did more harm to the community than good. So I think that because we're having such a dishonest discussion where Black men don't want to take accountability for what they've done, they want to be the victims of society, but then they want submission from the women. The bottom line is I'm not willing to deflect from the fact that number one, Black men are the greatest non-white contributors to white supremacy. Let's just be real. White supremacy couldn't even exist without Black men's compliance. They're always uplifting whiteness, biracial children, and trying to assimilate. And that's why I went back to the notion of the only time Black men truly feel like there's a war against them is when they feel like they're being punished for something white men do. At the end of the day, y'all dropped the ball. You're blaming white supremacy on your failures. We already know there's oppression, but Black women are double oppressed. We have more barriers to face. You have male privilege in a patriarchal system and you can't even get it right.
Well, Dr. Umar, I think we all know your stance on interracial marriages.
Absolutely. But let me also
so please acknowledge what the rest of what Cynthia G has said.
Absolutely. I'm not sure where Sister Cynthia took history class, but if you know anything about the transatlantic slave trade was a European enterprise.
I'm talking about the sub-Saharan. I'm talking about the sub-Saharan slave trade. You should go look into it.
Excuse me.
You address me. Go look into the sub-Saharan slave trade where Black men are trading their women and children for alcohol and tobacco.
Quit interrupting Dr. Umar. He didn't interrupt you when you was talking. Let him speak. You don't want him to say what he got to say because it's true. But thank goodness that other woman gonna step in, I think.
May I finish?
Go ahead, Dr. Umar.
The transatlantic slave trade was a European enterprise. It was not an African enterprise. Although there were some chiefs who participated in it, by no means did they control the direction and extension of the transatlantic slave trade. So that's number one. Number two, Black men resisted enslavement, not only on the shores of Africa, but right here in America. We celebrate Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Gabriel Prosser. There's literally hundreds of documented attempts by African men to liberate not only.
Daughter, my grandchildren are very smart. The ones you have, they need nothing else. What are you talking about, ma'am? I know it's a joke, though. I know it's a joke. Let me move that down before Jim happened to run across this video and see it.
Themselves, but they're women and their children. So to act like we just sat there and we're complicit in our own oppression is absolutely ridiculous. The other point I want to clarify for your information, Cynthia G, you've never, ever heard me condemn the civil rights movement. The good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is a hero of mine. And despite me being a Pan-African nationalist, I take issue with other Black nationalists who do want to dismiss Dr. King's accomplishment. The civil rights movement was necessary because it removed a psychological scar that suggested of racial inferiority. So you've never heard me deride the civil rights movement. I support it, although I took certain issues with it. The bottom line is when Black women, Black girls, Black boys listen to this conversation we're having today, they're going to be confused because they hear two brothers speaking of a greater context to the problems that affect Black men. And you hear two intelligent, beautiful Black women who want to keep scapegoating Black men while ignoring the historical and contemporary systemic challenges that are constantly placed in our way. I'm going to say this and be quiet, Sister Tammy. I got to give you this. There was a recent piece of research, Tammy, that came out. And the research said a Black man with a master's degree, they did a study. They had white males who had come out of prison apply for jobs. They had Black men with master's degrees, Sister Tammy, apply for the jobs. And guess what? The white males with prison history and no education were called back more than 75% of the time than Black men with no prison history and a master's degree.
I'm aware of that.
Ignore white
Our Black men have it so hard.
I'm aware of that of that survey. I am. Hope, I saw you give Dr. Umar the side eye.
It's only because I can't, you have 1,001 clips on the internet, but I know for a fact that one of the things that I was offended about in doing research or just seeing you on the internet is that you have definitely talked about your disdain for some of the practices of Dr. Martin Luther King. So to sit here and gaslight us as if most of us have not seen.
That's not true. Find the clip. Find the clip.
Well, Dr. Umar, you yourself said you
Dr. Umar said, play the clip.
You yourself just seconds ago said you did find some things in the civil rights movement problematic.
But I supported the movement and I still support it. I visit
everyone supported
every time I'm in Atlanta. I have never been
as a Black man, as a Black person in
If
America,
we're going to have the conversation, let us be honest. Let's not misrepresent.
You're the only one not being honest, Umar. You're not being honest.
Find the clip. We don't have to argue about it. We don't have to argue about it.
You just admitted to it. We don't need it.
60 seconds left on the 60 seconds left on this segment. We won't be able to find the clip on this show. But Hope, finish. Hope.
Essentially, whether we find the clip or not, we know that those things have been said, and you know that you've said controversial things. Once again, we see you moving the goalpost when you find that.
Controversial according to who?
We find, once again, because my thing is you and Cynthia can have that dynamic, but I give you the space to speak. I've given everybody that space to speak, so please don't interrupt me. At the end of the day,
you interrupted me as well. Let's be fair.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
And so once again, here we go in a space where Black women are making a point. It's more important to the Black.
It's not about you being a woman. It was about you being incorrect.
When Black women are
being incorrect.
I respect you. You were incorrect. You were incorrect.
That's the Leo in him. That's the Leo. That's that Leo. That's that Leo. He will not yield.
I didn't have the issue with a woman. You were correct.
Well, let's all breathe in, breathe out, and I'll take a commercial break. All right?
She said something that was
We'll take a commercial break.
He's not incorrect.
To wrap this up on the business of being black.
They hate black men. That's the problem. They hate.
Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack. I am Tammy Mack, and the business of being black today is there a war being waged against black men? Dr. Umar is getting it a little bit because he says the ladies are lying on him. And I suggest that you run through and roll through every interview and clip that Dr. Umar has to find the clip, as he would say. One thing I agree with you on, Dr. Umar, is a lot of times when we have these conversations, we start comparing black women to black men, and we tear one down in order to make the other's point. And oftentimes when I have these debates on the business of being black, I notice that is often the debate, to break the other person down rather than build them up. But I do want to do some comparative questioning right here. Do black men face more obstacles than black women? Dwan.
I don't want to put it in a more or less. We face different obstacles. But at the end of the day, this is what we can say is true. Black women have a safety net that black men don't have. If a black man loses his job, like earlier, what they're talking about earlier, black men having.
I'm going to say yes. Black men have it harder than black women because ultimately a white man can, would be attracted to a black woman and will, or either. Never mind. Let me hush. I'm just going to say yes. Black men have it harder than black women.
No accountability. What if a black man don't pay child support? He gets his license taken away, he gets his passport taken away, and he can't get a job. So there's accountability there. When it comes down to when a black man messes up, he's going to go to prison far longer than anyone of any other race or any other sex. So we have the most extreme consequences. But when it comes to a safety net for when we mess up, when we're down in our life, there are no programs for black men. You can't go through the government and say, hey, if the black men with children, here are this list of programs that only men can get. But it's a whole lot of stuff out there for women. So what's happening, what I'm seeing right here is a lot of lies being told, but lies of omission, omitting these safety, the fact that women have these safety nets that black men don't have, and also omitting the fact that in spite of all this, 3 out of 4 black men still get married to black women, and we still provide and we still do these things. So,
but Dewan, what Cynthia would say is, how come you haven't created your own programs?
Well, I personally created my own program. I've written 2 books. You know what I mean?
But that's not a program.
No, I know. I also have a whole program on how to communicate to your children and how to communicate to families, because my thing is about solutions.
But you're talking about safety net.
Look, now Big Papa say y'all not gonna take away his achievements. He has created programs. Hello, let me see. Vaughn said she was wrong for what? Which one? Vaughn, what was she wrong for? She said so. I forgot which one. She's fair skinned. Oh, the host. You saying she was wrong? What she do? A debate never supposed to help the person they are debating. Okay, you helping a person you debating. Wow. So you're saying that the whole no? I don't think the host was helping. First of all, Dr. Umar don't need no help. He can chin check a person and never say a curse word, never degrade them, never talk bad about them. He can chin check somebody strictly on facts because he has it memorized. And after me watching many of his videos and seeing the things that he speak on and believing, that's how I can say this. He don't have to talk. He don't have to call you out of your name or anything, and he will still win the debate. Hope was wrong. Okay. He said that. He said what? That's what she said.
So the question becomes, how come black men haven't created safety nets?
Black men, the Nation of Islam created what they can create as far as safety nets goes. Black independent organizations create safety nets for each other all the time. I'm talking about governmental safety nets. We can't go to the United States and say, hey, we need something only for black men, because it doesn't exist. There's a whole welfare program coming out in Atlanta that's only for black women. Same thing in California. There's a whole universal basic income that only black women can qualify for. Black men can't get.
But do you believe that that's because black women came together and said we need a program?
No, the reason why that happens is because the white supremacist plays on this schism within black society, and they give one side greater gifts than the other, and that can lead to infighting. And then people who don't analyze what's really going on, they're going to just see the result and not see the cause and say.
So he's saying society, the man pitting black women against black men, giving black women more just to upset the black man and then pit them against each other. What do y'all think?
What's wrong with black people? That's the government's tricks going on like it's always done. Let's elevate one group over the other and watch these two rascals fight each other. That's what's going on.
Okay. I'm not sure that anything governmental is a gift though, but hope.
I think that when we talk about it, a lot of those programs, especially the ones from back in the day, since we are going to do the history thing, were not just made for black women, but black women accessed them because black women were the ones that were in the household that had to take care of whatever was left when the government did steal our black men away, or when black men did fall into the hands of white supremacy. But I also think that the question now is, if you don't see that those things are happening, if we're not seeing those things in influx, then what are the greater black male population doing to enforce that these things happen? When women want things, especially when black women want things, we get up, we say something, we talk about it, and we're going to talk about it till we're blue in the face and until we get those things done. A lot of the times what I find is that black men think that they can ride off of those things, and then when things come to pass and they're not put into the game plan, then you're upset. Then it's like, oh, well, we thought we were going to, why? You did none of the work. You sat behind me and you watched me rally and you watched me do all of these things, and then you thought that you were going to benefit from it. And I'm sorry that I left you off, but honestly, when I was doing this work, it was hard to consider you, considering that I have to take care of you regardless in a lot of those spaces. But I also think that hit dogs will holler. If these things do not apply to you, then let's talk about how you help them to apply to the people that they do and pull those brothers out of the struggle instead of trying to defend something that does not apply to you. If it don't apply, let it fly, and let's figure out how to pull everybody into that fold instead of defending a narrative that you don't even conform to. Why are you so upset?
When I always hear, like, when Dwan, when you were talking about the government subsidies that black women have, it always makes me think about the movie Claudine with Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones, and him being the trash man and having to hide him in the closet when the people came. So I do believe that it definitely was a setup for a letdown in the black community. Dr. Umar?
Yes, indeed. One of the problems with the conversation, not with you, Tammy, but the responses, they're so individualized. Nothing is being evaluated from a group perspective or a community perspective or a systems perspective or an institutional perspective. The bottom line is anything black men want to do to liberate ourselves or our community, we can't do it without our women. And anything our women want to do to liberate themselves or the community, they can't do it without the men. It is not a competition. It should be a collaboration. But once again, some of us in the conversation are so filled with hatred for the opposite gender that we can never get around to talking about solutions. And in speaking of clips, Sister Tammy, there is one clip you might want to ask Sister Cynthia about, because it was sent to me by about 30 people several months ago, maybe even weeks, where she suggested that black women should abort their black male fetuses because after birth, they would not contribute to anything worthwhile in the black community. Could you?
Sister Cynthia, no, you didn't say women should abort their babies, lay on the slab. Why not put them up for adoption or something? I'm just asking for a friend, okay? All right.
You asked her to clarify her comments.
I would love to.
Women,
well, I would love to too, but we don't have time. So Dr. Umar, what I need you to do is tell us what you're working on so we can be a part of it.
Yes, indeed. This Saturday will be the second annual Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey RBG Family Festival right here at 601 East 17th Street, Wilmington, Delaware. All free. Come out. We are looking forward to seeing everybody. Go to fdmgfestival.com to register for the free event. And please register for my new online video platform, www.drumar.tv. That's www.drumar.tv. drumar.tv. And parents who need help with their children, special education, ADHD, psychiatric medication, IEP, autism, learning disability, reach out to me, 215-989-9858.
Dewan, please tell us about your book, Tell It Like It Is.
Tell it like it is, the art of loving communication. We can talk all day about bringing the Black family together, but we're not going to have the Black family together until the Black family know how to talk to each other.
And where can we get the book? On Amazon?
We can get it at my website, breakthroughas.org.
Got it. Hope, please talk to me. Talk to me, sis.
So right now I have my book, Until I Met Black Men, available on Amazon or wherever books are sold. But also I want to bring attention back to Brittany Griner. She is still out there, and we have Black Feminist Future that you can follow on all platforms, including Instagram, that are helping to make sure that our sister gets home, because that's a huge thing right now that we're not talking about and that we're not discussing in the same way that we discuss when Black men are going through some of the same things.
Now, because this show is about the war waged against Black men, Until I Met Black Men, is that a good thing?
It's a great thing. It talks a lot. What a lot of people thought the book was going to be was a read towards all the Black men that I've met in my life, but what it really
But it is not. Right?
It is not.
All right. Cynthia G, tell me about the content of your YouTube channel.
Well, if anyone really wants to know about why selective breeding will be the best thing for our community, then they can come to my channel where I explain that, as I also talk about the dynamic between Black men and Black women, and Black women's need to have standards, expectations, and boundaries when dealing especially with Black men, but any man in general, and open up your options too. Put you first. Stop thinking about Black men.
Okay. And I'm gonna be thinking about my Black man, Cynthia, because homie is all of that and then some. So I'm thinking right now. As a matter of fact, this show is over because I'm about to go think up on something.
I can't join you.
Okay, she said she gonna be thinking about. I don't know why Cynthia G don't want nobody to think about a Black man. I wonder what kind of man she like. What could be better than a Black man? Oh! Woo! Wait. All right. Thank you. Hello, C. Gordon. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Margaret Devon would run rings around Umar with ease. I gotta look that person up. Since you say they will run rings around Dr. Umar Johnson. Are you sure about that? It was man for single women, but they use Black women as the face of warfare on social benefits. Well, I like your thumbnail. That's a face of a Black woman. Many thanks. This interview is before Cynthia had a baby. Yeah, I could tell she was a lot more thinner. But hey, it is what it is. All right, guys. Thank y'all for stopping by. I hope you guys learned something, because I know I did. I always learn something when I go back and while I'm listening to Dr. Umar's lectures and interviews and the things that he talks about. I learned something. That is why I support him, because I support the things that he's saying, the things that he's talking about, and the things that he believes in. It's not Umar the man, it's Umar the social justice activist. Okay. All right, guys. Thank y'all for stopping by. I almost said I don't have to go to work in the morning. I'm off. I can just stay up all night if I like. Thank you, Laura. Why was I calling you Lauren Hill? It's Laura. You know what? I didn't put my glasses on. Okay, Laura. Thank you for subscribing. You Black? I know that's right. Well, you know what? I'm Black and I'm proud. Do you wear blonde hair? I'm just joking. That's something that's a joke. You know, Dr. Umar say we don't need to be wearing no fake hair and stuff. And I know people are gonna be like, she's so infatuated. She this whatever. I'm telling y'all, I believe in the things that he's talking about. It's not Umar the man, it's Umar the message. Dr. Umar the message, okay? Yes, thank y'all for supporting. I appreciate it. Learned of you from Shakim. Well, hello. I hope I'm subscribed to them. I don't know who. It must be somebody that came in my chat. Well, hello, Shakim. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys. You know what? Before I go, I want to do one thing. I want to do one thing before I go. I do. If I can find it. Okay, let me find this. Hold on, y'all. Okay. So this is Dr. Umar's Instagram site.
Because they born light skin that they just all that they can come up and talk. Oh, because you think you're pretty. I'm gonna tell you something. One, I look better than you. I look better than you, so you can get off my. That's one. And then two, why are you on my stuff if you don't like me? Why? Oh, it's giving obsessed. It's giving obsessed light skin.
Dr. Umar will be speaking in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, April the 16th. New Brunswick, New Jersey, April the 17th. University Park, Pennsylvania, April the 20th. Newark, New Jersey, April the 23rd. Shelton, Connecticut, April the 26th. University Park, April 29th. Columbus, Ohio, May 25th. He is so booked. We're going to get him to Little Rock some kind of a way. He's got to come to Little Rock. I've got to hear this man speak in person. I've just got to hear it.
You look so good on your live, Dr. Umar. I want to eat you up. At ease, my queen. At ease, my queen. You look so good on your live, Dr. Umar. I want to eat you up.
Well, she got blonde hair. I don't think that's hers, but hey, it is what it is.
Umar, I want to eat you up. At ease, my queen. At ease, my queen. What do you mean you want to eat up the prince? You look so good.
She got her hair in her head too. Okay. All right, girls. Dr. Umar, know he be posting some stuff, but okay. All right, guys. That's all I'm gonna show tonight. I'm gonna get off of here. That's enough. And I think my computer just locked up. Good night, everybody. Okay, guys, my computer died. I had to restart it. Good night. Thank y'all for hanging out. Power to the people. At ease, my queens and kings. You gotta love him. You gotta love him.